how are you doing? I'm going to tell you a very true story about that happened to me on the Colorado River. And then I'm going to talk to you about reservation rights and water rights. I'd first like to talk about that all Indian reservations mostly are different. There's different dynamics of depending where it's at, also the tribal leaders, if it's federal or non-federal. But I've had the conversation about, no, we were not nomadic people. No, we are mad, because any civilization wants to be near their food source and their water source, right? Where things are good and plentiful. Any civilization, right? So Andrew Jackson and others, Sweet Custard, moved us from those things that we love dearly, or killed those things like buffalo and water. So no, we mad. And one of the biggest goals I wanted to do was to work on an Indian reservation, to learn from them, their medicines, and just to be part of their culture and help. And one was the Navajo, because a lot of the Navajo Indian reservation does not have running water. And a lot of white people would be like, they're just living off the grid. They're being cool like that. I would like for you to ask them that. Because the Navajo Indian Reservation has been denied access to the Colorado River, which the Colorado River makes tons of money through generation, through dams, and then also through tourism, which leads you to my story. I was invited before I got married to go on a Colorado River voyage, per se, a whole month long of camping, going through the Colorado River. It's like a $10,000 trip. And I've always known, I've always had a deep respect for wildlife, nature, and so I took a couple months of just swimming, preparing myself for the Colorado River. That's the deep respect I have. That is something my father told me, that his grandfather told him, and his grandfather's father, the Daniels, natives, to have a respect for nature, respect for animals. So I, started to swim knowing that gigantic, huge river. I mean, it is a giant river, tons of water to share. So I practiced swimming every day, like my life depended on it, because I knew that was a giant river. And we were going to be in wildlife, and I needed to have some respect for what I was getting ready to do. Did any of those people that went with me on that trip swim every day and prep? No, they didn't. But what they did do is we got there, and they had a whole boat of just alcohol. I'm talking probably $10,000 worth of alcohol. And they had a whole, which I did not know. I didn't do drugs. I've never enjoyed drugs. Definitely I'd never had pot at that point. I hadn't been married. So they had whole things of illegal drugs going down the beautiful Colorado River. I didn't know any of these things. One whole boat of just alcohol. Another, all of them had stashes of drugs. So, here I am, little native girl, And I had a deep respect for what I was getting into. I had a respect for the water, the fear of drowning. And I was with mostly all white tourists, college-age kids, you know. None of them were Native American except for me. And I got the name Papoose a Crazen. Because apparently my mother, you know, put me as a papoose on her back. And I died and, you know, she beef jerkied me and ate me later on. And of course, every time I went to the bathroom, they told me to watch out for the Cooper Cop. It was Native American jokes the whole way there, you know. And I had a deep respect for everything. And I would only use the bathroom in the specific place you use the bathroom. It's called a groover. And the other girls would just strip down naked and pee in the water. It just bothered me. All of it bothered me. Anytime we were off the boat, they were all high and drinking. Anytime they were off the boat, and they were drinking when they were on the boat. We had multiple crashes due to alcohol and drugs. Lots of, near death, me drowning. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is not respectful of anything. And then we would have the very white rangers come telling us what to do. Come telling us, you know, and I want to be like, please save me from all these assholes that are disrespecting, all of this native land, doing, unsafe mushrooms, hallucinogenics, and getting lost. Some of them would get lost, you know. And here I am, I don't do drugs, you know, I'd have maybe a drink or so. I was always like, they'd be like, Dana's drawing the rocks. She sees faces in the rock. You know, I'm just drawing, playing guitar. You know, they broke my guitar. It was horrible how much they disrespected the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon. So we get to Havasu, which is a beautiful waterfall, which is also a Native American village. We get there and it is full of hiker trash. Hikers' old socks, hikers' old tents, hikers' food, just completely disrespecting our native land. This gorgeous prestige waterfall, all full of white man's trash, all up through there. I'm pretty upset. I'm upset. Calling me Papoose a Crazen, wearing an afro like my dad. I'm not really happy. I'm scared. I'm writing my brother letters home. Like, I think I may die. These people don't have a respect of this land, this water. They're high all the time. I'm the only one enjoying the nature. I'm the only one that's alert and oriented enjoying this trip. So I swim several times because people are doing drugs and not paying attention to, what they should be doing with the boats. And then every week they'd have another load of alcohol brought in or more drugs that came in. Our native drugs they're using and abusing. I'm not doing them because I've been taught not to, thank God. So all of these white people partying it up down through native land, native water that the Navajo are not allowed to have a resource. And I'm being called Papoose a Crazy. Just, one Native American Latino stereotype after another, over and over again. And I am the only one not doing drugs. I am the only one that has a deep respect for where I'm at, what's going on, that I prep for this. And then we finally get to, I think it's Lake Fontaine. It's the last part. And they're like, they'd already gotten their third or fourth boat of alcohol, their weed, their mushrooms brought in. I think it's like Diamond Lake. I don't care at this point. But it's a whole weeks worth of just floating. And they said, we're going to call it the party barge. And all we do is party. We don't even have to row. And I called my mom on the satellite phone. And I said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I told the guy I was with, you can either go on or leave without me. And so, you know who came and got me from who came and got me? I got off at an Indian reservation. So I did not have to spend another week of hell with white people doing drugs and making fun of my Native American ass. So the Native Americans pulled me out. I think it was Diamond Ranch. I'm not sure. They pulled me out. And I got to use the bathroom for the first time ever and see my face in a mirror after a month on a Native American Indian reservation. Did they get to resource that water? That, no, I'm sure they don't. But, America and national parks let people, go through our native water, our native land, and desecrate it. But we don't get to use it for water. Let's talk about respect. Respect is giving ownership to who was here first, to our animals, to our water, to the power of a huge river, to the power of the inclement climates, and the arrogance that we see that is happening here in America. The arrogance of stealing our culture, stealing our land, disrespecting our culture, and disrespecting our land that we would have taken great care of. So, no, the Navajo reservation does not have water rights through the Colorado River, but you can go piss in it. Yeah, you can go piss in it. Pay $10,000 and piss in it, party in it, disrespect it, leave your shit in it. But Native Americans can't have anything to do with it. So if you want to, go to Coachella, Bonnaroo, Lollapalooza, Coachella's I think $500 at least, thousands at most for a ticket. Peyote or ayahuasca is probably, hundreds of dollars to buy. That we as Native Americans would probably never be able to afford or want to attend. Thank you. So next time you take a bear, aspirin, or Tylenol, you can thank the Cheyenne Indians. Next time you see the Grand Canyon, you can thank the Navajo and remember that they don't have access to it. Next time you want to go get implants in your cheeks, maybe you'll thank maybe you want to thank us for that's how we look and we can't help it. I don't know. I'm angry at this point. Don't call me Papusa Crazen and go piss in the Colorado River that the Navajo would love to have access to. So that's my beef of the day. You can call me Sitting Bull. You can call me whatever you want. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to keep talking about people that have been done wrong and the people I'm going to fight for and people that have been stolen from. I love you. Have a good day.